Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Mark Leonard, and this
Is me.
is Becky. So, all right, we're gonna do something a little bit different. First of all, welcome to the new year. And yes, I have titled this episode, "Oh Crap, What Have I Done?"
Thank goodness my parents aren't on social media. They'd be
Right?
they'd be like, get a little bit classier, would you?
All right, so here's the thing. We've decided to do a few things together. We have a lot of fun together. So, Becky, my dear, I was gonna say, how do I edit that? We're live. My dear bride.
There's no editing going on.
There's no editing.
This is what you get.
This is what you get. My dear bride here. We've been married 27 years, and we love working together. So we decided we're going to do some of these little episodes together.
Well, can I tell a backstory?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so this actually is coming about because of a couple of interesting incidents that happened. Things that were said. So
I told you I didn't do it. I wasn't going that fast. Not that incident? Okay, go on.
I needed to rein him in. No, I was talking to a really good friend yesterday, and she said something to me. She actually said two things to me that weren't related, but they got me thinking. I've had a lot of people say to me, your lives with you and your husband used to be so fun when you guys lived in Florida.
Hang on. That's like saying, I used to really like you.
I used to follow you. Used to could.
You guys used to be fun. What has happened?
Okay, she didn't mean it like that.
Okay, probably not.
And then the other thing she told me was about a daily thing that she listens to with Rachel Hollis and her husband. And I was like, please, we're like the original.
Because we're older?
Yes.
Which means we have more experience.
Yes.
But no. In all seriousness, Rachel Hollis is absolutely amazing, right? That woman is fantastic.
She is. And she does this cool thing with her husband every day, which I didn't know. But people have said to us often that they love watching us live. And I was sitting in the bathtub this morning, and I had an epiphany. Why are we
Because
working?
all great ideas start in the bathroom.
Well, my heavens. Yes. So my epiphany was,
fact.
why are we working so hard at building our businesses separately when everybody tells us the magic is us being together? People don't say to me, I love watching you live. But they say to us, I love watching you live.
So I would like to do a brief introduction. I'm Dr. Mark Leonard. I am the happiness dude, and this is my amazing wife. She is the happiness dudette.
Yes, we're going to do t-shirts.
Right?
Dudette.
Dudette. We're just going to put underneath my logo, we'll have a men's line and a women's line.
Yes. The women's t-shirt will have, like, in parentheses, et.
Yes.
So it'll say dudette.
That'll be awesome, right?
So this is how we're going to do this moving forward. We've been sharing his videos to all the places and my videos to all the places, and we just feel like we're better together.
I feel a song coming on.
Like, babe.
I got you, babe. Yes, absolutely. So, yes, we're going to start doing some of these together. But, I titled this, "Oh, crap, what have I done?" That's part of it, right? Because there is some uncomfortableness that happens when you are not doing what you're used to doing. See, on my podcast, I'm used to being the host. On my training videos, I'm used to being the voice. On those things that I write, I'm used to being the author. And all of a sudden, I'm going to be turning over some of those reins to you. And I remember in one of your businesses, we did do LuLaRoe for several years now. And do you remember when I lost my job? By the way, that's the best story. I'll leave that for another day. I was laid off as part of a big workforce reduction. My whole team was laid off, and it was awesome. Here I am, ADD, right? I'll tell you later, but let me tell you now. So what happened is they came in to lay me off, and I was like smiling from ear to ear. And the HR director was like, Mark, I don't think this has really set in. And I'm going,
He
no.
was like, I don't think you're going to be
has.
okay. And he said, no, really, I'm going to be great.
This is the
I'm going
best
to
day
go
of my
home and
life.
work with my wife.
Yes, you're going to give me money, and I'm going to go home and pursue my business with my wife. This is awesome.
And then something happened.
Yes, I wanted to help with Becky's business.
I had to turn over the reins. It was hard.
It's uncomfortable when you're used to doing something and
My way.
or anyone's way, right? We
Right.
all as individuals, we get used to doing it our own way. And then when someone comes in and adjusts, changes, when that proverbial monkey wrench comes flying in, it's uncomfortable.
Yes. Yes.
So-
So you're a little bit uncomfortable with handing me some of the reins on
Oh
these.
crap, what have I done?
I don't. Let's talk about what that really refers to. How many of you have had a haul a month?
Oh, honey.
And how many of you have a haul a month that is continuing?
Me, okay. Oh boy.
I don't. You
That's
know what?
actually
I
what
don't.
that's actually what the title refers to.
How many pounds do you think you gained this haul a month?
Oh, I know this one. I don't know. I didn't get on the scale before or after. Boom! I won.
There's nothing like not losing because you didn't start.
Hey, you don't lose if you don't try. And I'm a motivational speaker.
So we're going to get really vulnerable with you. We're going to talk about goals, but as part of those goals, we're going to talk about our own goals and getting vulnerable about our own goals. I feel like I've got the devil coming out of my hair. Okay, don't mind me while I fix that.
Okay.
So we have a continuing goal of being healthier. And with all the health problems we've had over the last year, it's really important that we lose some weight. So neither one of us stepped on the scale this morning. And let's be real about this. I'm not going to step on the scale till after we get back from our little vacation.
Yes. Because you can't eat healthy on a vacation, right? That's absurd.
Who wants to eat healthy on a vacation?
Well, I'm just saying it's
I mean, you can eat mostly healthy,
it's a
but
funny logic.
you have to have dessert when you're on vacation.
Oh, like when you're on the cruise and they bring you the dinner menu and you're all,
I'll have one of each.
I would like 4 appetizers and 3 molten chocolate
Hey,
cakes.
I want to point out that I lost weight on the cruise.
I know, I did too.
It's because we walked like a gazillion miles on that stinking ship.
And we worked out every day.
No.
What do you know? So back to our goals for the month. Goals for the year, we are going to work on being healthier. Now, for those of you that have been following along with Becky and Dr. Bro, you know that we have made this statement before. And here is what is awesome about that.
We keep coming back to it.
We keep coming back to it. We don't quit.
We don't quit.
We don't quit.
That doesn't mean we've hit our goals yet.
Although we do need to quit the Hulla month.
That's true. Next week.
Next week. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. What?
Okay, I want to point out something though. So Mark and I, we're going to Sedona tomorrow with our kids.
Who's been there? I'm excited.
Yeah, have you ever been to Sedona? It's in Arizona. If you don't know.
And have you ever done the Jeep tour? We're going to go do that.
I can't wait to see, I need to bring our camera.
Yes.
Yes. So we have this thing where we do things instead of giving things. We don't need any more stuff for Christmas. So we're going to go to Sedona tomorrow. So when we get back, then then we'll really sit down and work on some goals. I mean, we'll work on micro steps. You want to talk about
Yeah,
micro
okay.
steps?
So here's the thing, and I talked a little bit about this in the past few videos. If I was to put my focus word for the month or for the year,
Yeah.
I would probably say something like healthier, right? And
Yes,
and
yes.
I like that. I do. I like that.
We were talking about this, you guys. Mark and I had you should have been part of our conversation this morning. We were talking about
I think that's what we're doing. We've decided to have some of these conversations in front of the camera.
Okay.
All right.
So Mark was saying, I don't really get this whole thing about focus words.
Well, I'll tell you the reason why. Is because I'm an academic and a scientist. And a focus word, how do you measure ambiguity? To me, a word is ambiguous.
Right.
So I'm as a scientist and as someone who measures performance and measures change in behaviors, if all I'm doing is looking at a word, how do I know if I've gotten closer or further away from that word? And so for me, that gets a little, I guess you could almost call it uncomfortable.
It's his uncomfortable. He doesn't know if it's not measurable, he's not comfortable with it.
And that's exactly it. If I cannot measure it, I'm not comfortable with it. And it's probably because for many, 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 many years, as an organizational change agent, as someone who measures training and performance, as someone who looks at job performance and looks to see what can we do to improve human capital, human performance. Well, if I was to walk into a meeting with a president of a company and say, hey, this year we're going to focus on gratitude. Okay, I have a gratitude board right there. We're going to focus on gratitude. The
Say how
CEO
you can't measure that.
would be like, how do you measure that? So for me, I get uncomfortable with that because I've been measuring for so long. So I think this is what we've come up with.
Is that the focus word is an attribute. That was my point, is that a focus word isn't a goal. A focus word is an attribute that you want to improve in your life. And of all the focus words that I've heard from other people, exactly, Sherry, that's exactly what we were talking about. Like in all the focus words I've heard, like for me, service, for somebody else, abundance, for somebody else, charity, whatever, it isn't something measurable. Attributes aren't measurable, right? But you can then set goals in your day and in your month and in your year that are measurable,
Right.
that help you achieve the attribute that you're focusing on.
So if I was to say my focus word is healthier, well, I could look at, and you mentioned it earlier, micro steps or tiny behaviors, or I like to call them key behaviors. Those things that you do, those behaviors, those actions that you do that have an effect on the end result.
Right.
So, for instance, if I was to say healthier, that's great. I want to be healthier this year. But that I could break that down to say, well, that means for me, I want to go to the gym. That's ambiguous. I want to go to the gym a minimum 5 days a week, exercising a minimum of 25 minutes cardio and 45 minutes of strength training in each session.
There you go.
See,
That's
now,
wrapped in the focus word, and
Yes.
it's wrapped in the goals.
right. And I can measure it. I could tell myself. I could look at it and say, well, how much time did I spend on the treadmill? Was it 20 minutes or did I hit my 25? I don't know why I picked 25. I don't know.
Okay.
But is it measurable? Did I do it? Yes or no? Did I do strength training for 45 minutes? Yes or no?
Yeah, okay.
Now, you could also look back and say, well, great, you did strength training, but of those 45 minutes, how much of that time were you just sitting on the bench? Were you doing HIIT? Were you constantly engaged in the exercise for 45 minutes? Or is it how many repetitions? So sometimes you need to break it down even further to say, I'm going to do X amount of reps and sets, lifting X amount of weight on these days, leg days, on upper body days, etc. So you could get really finite, but for me, I'm going to measure it by going to the gym a minimum 5 days a week and doing X amount of cardio and X amount of strength training.
So I think that for me, I hear everything he says, and part of me gets overwhelmed.
I love that. Good.
And so I think that you set goals according to what you can handle. I think that maybe sometimes people focus on a focus word because they're not ready to set goals. I know that sounds really funny.
Do you think that's what it is
I
though?
don't know. Like sometimes I'm not ready to get that specific. I just want to, I don't have a good word for it. I want to start like moving in a direction, but I'm not sure where that direction leads me yet.
Okay.
But if you don't want to get that specific, maybe your goal for health is just, I want to go to the gym. Maybe that's like, if you want to set a micro goal, a micro step, something that helps you achieve that goal, that doesn't overwhelm you, just start saying, I want to exercise 5 days a week. And then make sure you hit that goal. And then the more you make that a habit, the more you can then like hone in.
So is going to the gym exercise? Well, participating on the machinery, that's exercise, right? You're doing something, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is hiking exercise?
Yes.
Is walking through Target exercise?
Hey, the way we've been walking through Target
I know,
lately,
right?
it's
That's
exercise.
what I'm saying. So, if any of you are getting pushback of like, honey, all you do is you go to Target and you sip your latte, you could say,
Oh
but
no, I speed walk Target.
Dr. Leonard, the happiness dude, said that is a form of exercise.
I agree with him though that you have to set goals, or the focus word isn't meaningful enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was thinking about how Mark and I aren't ready to like hit all of the goals yet, but does that mean that we can't be successful? We didn't eat healthy today. It's New Year's Day. I don't start my diet on New Year's Day. That's just not cool. I have all the leftovers from yesterday. I'm not throwing them out.
Right?
So I was thinking, okay, well, what's something that I could do this week that helps me towards my healthy goals? I could drink my water.
I think that's
easy.
That is a great micro step to get you towards your goal, right? If a healthier lifestyle is more than just going to the gym. In fact, they say that you cannot out-exercise a bad diet. So
It's true. It's true. It doesn't matter how much you exercise if you're eating junk,
unless you're 17.
right?
I
Do you
miss
know how
that.
hard it is to be in a house with 17-year-olds and they're
17-year-old athletes.
It's just true. She's eating her chocolate and then she puts on her leggings and,
And you're all,
oh, girl.
oh no, oh no.
I don't even eat half as much chocolate as she does. And, well, I don't look like she does.
Yeah, of course we don't run half as much as she does either. But to the point of it is multiple things. So if on your goals for this year, you're only ready to take one step in that direction, hey, take that step. Stop worrying about taking the 80 steps to get somewhere. I want you to start focusing on what is the step that you can take today or even right now. What is the one thing that you can do right now that will get you closer to your goal? And that could be exercise, that could be business, that could be, that could be your marketing plan, that could be going out and doing contacts for your sales team, or whatever the case may be. It needs to be the idea of what is the next thing that you can do to get you one step closer.
And I think it's the next one small thing, don't you think?
It is. It's all about tiny steps, those little bitty things.
Because we overwhelm ourselves. Somebody, I was talking to somebody once, and they're like, I don't know how you do it all. I don't do it all, but that's a different story for a different day. But we were talking about like morning devotional time and like reading scriptures and saying prayers, and then doing our family time and doing our family scripture study and all that. And I was like, girlfriend, you know, I started that 20 years ago, right?
Right.
And when we started it, we weren't doing any of that. But people look at a big thing that they want to accomplish and they go, oh, I need to start it all today. And then what happens? Like,
Well,
somebody's going to, tomorrow, they're going to be like, I'm going to start dieting today. I'm going to start exercising today. I'm going to start eating enough vegetables today. I'm going to start whatever.
yes.
And then, like, are you going to do it? No, you overwhelmed yourself.
Right. And which is why so many goals or people break down. And by the 27th of January, 85% of our New Year's resolutions have already been broken. So
Yeah.
if that's the case, we need to change something in our DNA about how we approach our goal, about how we approach our resolution. And if we are literally losing that many people,
We're overwhelming ourselves.
then we're overwhelming ourselves. So focusing on the very next step, the very next thing that you can do is really what is going to drive success. Now, here's the great thing. As you get one step and you're getting more and more comfortable with that, add another. Get more and more comfortable with the second one, add a third, et cetera, et cetera. It's all about taking that next step.
And there's no rush to it either.
No.
It's when you feel ready. We started reading scriptures with our kids as a family every night. Well, it wasn't every night to start, but it was like we started doing it.
Right.
And then eventually it was every night. And then after that, it was like, I don't know, it was one step at a time. And it's not overloading yourself with so much that you drop it all.
Yeah, absolutely. So Laura just asked, what would your first step be to start a small business? Okay, you're talking to someone, the two of us, we have started, I wish we could count how many businesses we have started.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And I'm going to give you a little insight. We have started a lot of businesses. The vast majority have not been financially successful. Every single one of them we have learned from, and it has helped us to be more successful in the next venture that we take. We have had some that we have done very well at. We've had some that you look back and you go, oh, well, that was a painful, no, that was life tuition.
I love that you say that. I love the word life tuition.
Well, that's all it is.
It really is.
It's so
You paid for a learning experience.
you did, and some of them were more expensive tuitions than others. So my first step in starting a business is I like to start, for me, I like to find something that I'm passionate about. That is my first thing. And I've coached some other people, and I'm coaching someone now, that was a question that they presented to me. They said, Dr. Leonard, look, I really want to start a business. I said, what do you want to do? And he couldn't come up with anything other than, well, I want to do what you do. And so I asked him, what do I do?
That was a good question.
What do
you think I do?
What do you think I do? You know those memes that you see on Facebook, what you think you do, what your mother thinks you do, what everyone else thinks you do. Anyway, so I asked him, what is it that you think that I do? And he gave me an answer, and I thought to myself, that's not what I do, but it's interesting that was the perception. So then I knew that was something that he was interested in. So, okay, if that is what you want to do, and I would begin to coach him and start asking him questions about, well, what do you think is the value that you offer to the world? Now, that's a scary question, because most of us say, I don't have value, or I can't bring enough value, or I can't charge for this, or I don't know what to charge. I don't worry about any of those things. Just try to figure out what you're passionate about, and then try. And I said, if you could explain it to your grandmother, to your 85-year-old grandmother, so that she understands, you're finally going to be able to start grasping some of what you want to do. So that would be my first step, is try to explain it in a way that you could talk to, I know it's a funny thing to say, talk to the elderly or a troglodyte or someone that is not experienced in your area, and see how you would come up with that story.
Okay, so let me give you a little funny story though, because that's what makes these videos good. So you're talking to two very different people here, because Mark has all of the logical answers, but Mark is also a type A personality.
Oh,
Type A.
phenomenally.
So Mark jumps. I way overthink to the point where I stop myself. Mark doesn't even think about the long term, and he's like, this sounds good, let's go for it.
Because you can build a plane as you're falling out of the sky. I believe that to be true.
This is our two totally different personalities. So this is why we actually work well in
business is really
business.
fun together, right?
Yeah, he gets really frustrated with me because he's like, you're thinking way too hard, just jump. And I'm like, dude, you did not think of the ramifications of that. Step back.
Okay, so what would be your answer to Laura about what would be the first step to start a business?
I think it's just do some research. I love learning about what the possibilities are, but I think we both love that. He just jumps a lot sooner than I do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I think that looking at what value that you add to this world, and everybody adds value. So you need to look at it from like, what would your mom say that you add value? Not because we're too hard on ourselves. So, right? Like, look at what value you add, and then look at the cost benefit and the cost analysis maybe. Mm-hmm. And then without thinking too hard about it, start making steps in the right direction.
You know, some of the best advice I received, even recently, from someone that's very successful in my field of personal development and business consulting and leadership development. I consider myself a positive psychologist. That's what I went to school for, is organizational leadership. And I loved that they said, you need to stop doing so much planning and just start moving forward. Now, that's ironic because, as Becky said, I am definitely the, hey, look, let's take a handful of spaghetti, throw it against the wall, see what sticks. Oh, it didn't stick? Let's just try it again. I'll grab another handful. And what, we ran out of spaghetti? Oh, I'll find something else that will stick, because I will just keep trying and trying and trying, and I just keep going and going and going. And that is part of that type A personality. I see my biggest weakness in business is I have so many innovative ideas that I can't keep up with them. And I need to focus on 1 to 2 of them and get them going how I see them before I start adding on another 1 or 2. Boy, we've gone so far off the rails on this one.
Back to those micro steps.
Yes.
Like when Mark and I were living in Florida, businesses that we talked about doing, we wanted to do a food truck that was like a soda shop food truck. We wanted to have like desserts, and we wanted to have different sodas, and then we wanted to have like different mix-ins and all this different stuff. And it came from an idea of a shop out west that is really popular that isn't a thing in Florida. And so then we started doing the research, and we went as far as like pricing out food trucks.
Oh, we went down to the manufacturer.
I mean, that's what you do when you're starting a business, is you need to, like, if you're interested in it, you need to start going down the path like you're going to do it. So what would the next step be? Like, okay, well, you need a food truck. Okay, so we did all of that. And then what would the next step after that be? You would need to know how to put the machines in the food truck. And so we talked to people about how it would be built. And then what's the next step after that? So you go down the road, and we actually ended up not feeling like it was the right timing. And so we didn't go through with it. But we did take ourselves down that path of micro steps, what that would look like and what we needed to do to get there. But it really is just taking a step.
It is.
And not overthinking.
So I think that's probably what I want to just leave tonight with is whatever your goal is, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, your New Year's resolution, your word, your goal, whatever it is that you want to do this year, I want you to look to say, what is the very next step that you can take? The very next smallest step that you can take, and take it.
Yeah.
Take
Yes.
it.
Yes. Actually do it.
And
Don't think about it. Don't put it off until next week. I am notorious for starting my diet on Monday. Are you guys like that? I'm like, oh, like Monday I will start this. And then something sabotages my Monday, and then I'm like, well, I can't start it Tuesday. So then it's the next Monday, and then it never happens, right?
Right.
Because I overthink. So you actually have to just choose and make a step. And we've been the most successful in the things we've done when we just started.
and hey, look, if you take a step and the next step after that is a step backwards, fantastic. That is called the beginning of the tango. And it's okay to have a dance step in there. It's okay to rock back and go forward.
Yep.
Don't be afraid of those times that you take that step back.
Yeah.
That is not a failure.
The Hala month was our step back.
Hey.
And we're getting back to it.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, there will be more from us. We're going to start doing a lot more videos together because they're fun. We end up talking. And I want to invite you to follow The Happiness Dude on Facebook, to also go take my happiness quiz. It's over on thehappinessbreakthrough.com. You can also go to thehappinessdude.com and go take my quiz.
And we're going to be doing some, for anybody that their goal is to be healthy this next year, we're going to start doing some challenges. And we're going to start doing some giveaways, because that's how we just help keep each other accountable. So we will be posting after Sedona. We'll be posting what our goals are, our starting point. And I think our first challenge is going to be water.
Yep. Now, that is for those of you that are following on our live videos. For those of you that are following on the podcast, because that has a different time frame to it, because all these episodes will end up on a podcast as well.
If you
we
want to
won't be
be
able to
part
do
of
it.
Health Challenges, come visit me at Becky and Dr. Bro.
There you go.
There you go.
On Facebook.
There you go.
All right, you guys have a great night. Thanks for
Sherry.
chatting
Thanks,
with
Brittany.
us.
Have a good night, everybody.
See ya.